So yesterday we were trying to build the SOAP project. I was telling how to build a SOAP project, right? And at that time connection lost. So I'll start again. So what are all the steps to build a SOAP project? It is over here. Firstly, I do need to download and install SOAPUI from the site. Then I do need to deploy the application. These two steps I have already done. Now get the WSDL. How we can get the WSDL of the application? We do need first to start the server. The server for SOAP is Apache only. It's under Xampp Apache we are going to use. And now it just started. Port is assigned. This is the specific port which is assigned. These are the process IDs which are assigned. Okay. Now to check if it is working or not, if it is up or not. For Xampp, you do need to write just localhost, and to get WSDL, copy this complete link and remove this slash. Instead of slash, it's retail, and for the Xampp, it's retail. Enter. Okay, so this is the outlook of the retail application, and to get the WSDL, you can click on the WSDL, or what you do need, you just need to write $WSDL. Okay, now copy this link, and then the next step is, okay, wait a minute, here. Next step is to launch the SOAPUI, already launched, and it looks like this. And then to create a SOAP project from file, new SOAP project, second option. And here is option to enter the WSDL. Just paste that WSDL over here. And if you see, when I enter the WSDL, its name is coming on its own, retail. Okay, you can also rename it to retail SOAP 1 and then OK. Just click on to OK and you will see that the retail SOAP project is coming with many services under that one. So what is the purpose of the things which I am getting under this project? This is the project and these all are the things which I am getting. So how I did get, what thing I add? I just add WSDL. Okay, and under WSDL, which things are there? It is actually a document which consists of all the services which are available under that particular WSDL or are available under that particular web service. So these all are what? Service 1, 2, these all are the services actually which I am getting. Services means one of the tasks, one of the thing which it can perform, one of the from out of a complete application. These are the tasks which it can perform. Okay, so these are things I am getting here on its own. I didn't make any of the change. I just enter the WSDL. So this is the way to enter, to use a SOAP project. Okay, I'll not show you the rest part of the things that are left. It's just to create a new SOAP project, enter the WSDL, set the name and save the project. Yes, one more thing. In SOAPUI, there is no such option to save whenever you are going to close it. You need to check a box for that. You need to set a time after how long it is going to save. Okay, save your project. So you need to save your project manually. Save all. You can select the path where you want to save your project, and here I want to save. Done. Okay, so you do need to save your all of the project after any updations if you make, or the way, as the thing I was saying, you do need to change some of the settings. How to change? Just go to the file, preferences. Then you will get here many options. You can change many things which you want: proxy settings, SSL settings, WSDL settings, UI settings. Can you see here? the option for auto save interval. Here it is 0. You can set it to 10. After every 10 minutes, it is going to ask, do you want to save your project or not? If it is not saved, understand, and then select OK. File, preferences, and UI settings, and here you can change. You can also change its. The path, the size of the text size, or the writing in which you want complete font. You can change. Okay. So many more things are actually there. We'll look when we need it. So this is the way to create a SOAP project. Now let's come to the topics for today. The second day topic is now all the topics are covered. Now it's day third. What is a REST WADL URLs? What do you think? Okay, let's start with this presentation first. So these all are the topics I'm going to cover today as part of the day 3 topics. What is REST? And WADL and URLs, what is the purpose for all that? What is REST? REST is an architecture, again theoretical thing which I'm explaining you, which works with JSON, but today we'll work on the implementation part of REST as well. Okay? Works with JSON or XML to communicate in request and response format. What is the meaning of this request and response? Because if I'm working, then surely from the user we are going to send the request, and from the server we are going to get back some response. The language in which it is going to communicate is JSON for my case. Okay? And REST can be implemented with WADL and URLs. Okay, you do need WADL, same thing for WSDL, but WADL is not as much useful. URLs are more useful, and we are going to work with URLs for our retail application. Okay, WADL contains list of services available under that web API. What is the meaning of that? The same thing as for WSDL. There are many services available under WSDL, and again, there are many services available under WADL. Okay. Now, each service. This is very important thing. Each service under any WADL is one URL. Each service is one URL. So one URL means one service provided under web API. Okay, let me show you one example for that first. Can you see this notepad file? It consists of URLs. Right, so one URL means one service, one of the operation which that web API is going to perform. This is the second thing. What is present as part of this URL? We'll discuss after some time, but this is just to tell you the purpose of URL. Okay, so many URLs means many services available. And each URL is related to one of the request types, the get, post. Okay, we'll cover these all things. So what it is saying, each URL is related. See here, each URL, if this is my first URL, then it is related to one of the request type, which is post. Scroll down, see here, now this is my second URL, which is related to put. And many more URLs are there. Out of these, some are related to get, delete, post, right? Many things are there. So let's discuss about, here I'm saying get, post, put and delete CRUD operations. We are going to discuss all of these topics today. CRUD operations and the request types which are there. And then we'll discuss in a very detail as part of a URL what is present. And then I'll tell you how to build a REST project. Okay, so let's firstly discuss about CRUD operations. CRUD operations are what? C stands for create, retrieve, update and delete. See, these are the operations which are available under any of the application if it is, just a minute, if it is web application or it is desktop application. Okay, if it is web application, then again CRUD operations will be there, and if it is desktop application, then again these operations will be there. Now let's see what is the purpose of these all operations. What do you think? Okay, let's start with retrieve. Retrieve is for what? Retrieve is if I want to retrieve some data, if I want to get some data. Am I right? Say if you open your Yahoo account and you enter the credentials, your username and password, your login ID and password, and then you go to settings and you want to change something, or when you click on to settings, you are going to retrieve all the data related to you which you enter while creating your account. Right? So that thing is a part of retrieve. Or if you open your Twitter account, you'll get all the information related to your profile. Right? So that is part of the retrieve operation. Now what about update? The thing already told you about update. Update means if you open your settings and you want to update your phone number. Okay, if you want to update your phone number, if you want to change it from 01 to 10, then you can change it, and that kind of operation. See, how that operations are going to perform, I'll tell you, but this is just to give the introduction of the operations which are actually going to perform. Okay, and if I want to update my phone number, then it is update operation. And if I want to delete my account, if I want to delete my phone number, and if I want to delete my phone number, it is a part of update operation, because I'm updating my phone number from 10 digits to nothing, that I want to delete my that information. Okay, so delete means if you want to delete your account, if you want to delete your Facebook account, then what kind of operation it is? It is a kind of delete operation. Now which operation is left? It's about create. What do you think? What is present under create operation? Any one of you? Create means what? Create means I want to create my account. Okay, if I want to create my account in my, say if you want to create your account in any of the shopping website under Amazon.com, then it is a kind of create operation. So these are the things which are very basic. Okay, now let's come to the scientific terms which we are going to use. These are the request types: get, post, put and delete, which we are going to use. And the reason for explaining create, retrieve, update, delete is this one, that all of these request types are actually related to one of the operations which are going to covered under your REST-based project. Understand? So let's start with the get operation. Okay, so this is a kind of request or methods. Okay, so I'll start with get. So the reason why it's retrieve, create, I hope it's clear. Is this clear? To create, retrieve, update and delete. Then I'll come to this get, post, put and delete. This is very important to understand. Is this clear? Ashad, Rahul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's come to this get, post, put and delete. Get is related to retrieve. Very simple thing which is there. Say if you want to look for SOAPUI training, you just write SOAPUI training, and okay, you are going to get all the details which are available corresponding to that particular words. So this is the link which I'm getting from this. From this, what I can see. Can you see for which words I was looking? SOAPUI training, right? So from where I did copy this URL, this is coming from here. Okay, and say if I write SOAPUI tutorials. Now I search for SOAPUI tutorials. It is going to give me the complete information for that words here. Oh, just a minute. is the first thing for SOAPUI training, and for SOAPUI tutorials, this is the second thing which I'm getting. Okay, so these are the two URLs which I'm getting, and the things for which I was searching is SOAPUI training and it's SOAPUI tutorials. Right? So when I search for that, I get the link like this. And when I search for SOAPUI tutorials, I get the link like this. So this is the kind of retrieve operation. I'm trying to retrieve some data, and I could see for the words I was looking in the URL itself. Is this correct? It's giving me SOAP training. Okay, I think I did search for SOAP training for that. Yes, it's SOAP training, not SOAPUI training. SOAP training. So when I search for SOAP training, I was getting the URL like this, and when I search for SOAPUI tutorials, I was getting. So what kind of operation it is? If I say operation, it is retrieve operation. And what kind of request or method I'm firing? If I directly search for any of the data, if I just want to retrieve the data, then that kind of request is get request or method. Understand? So the thing is that if I directly search for any of the data, then it's by default a kind of request or method which I'm going to fire it get. This is the thing which I want to explain you right now. So get is something which is related to retrieve if I just want to retrieve the data. Okay, so by default the request type is get. Did I mention anywhere that use any other method using the request type? This is search for two words and it is giving me the complete detail. Right? And say if I enter facebook.com and here it is going to ask me for my mail. Say if I use this mail and this random password. So what I get that URL like this one here, right? And it is for the facebook.com, right? See here, I just enter my username, first correct username, so I'm getting my profile picture over here, but I didn't use my password. Password was incorrect. Okay, so I must get that password. Say if I just enter this as my password, it is incorrect one, but still it is not showing me within the URL. Can you see that password over here? No, I'm not getting. It is not giving me the option like this. Password, question mark, that complete value. It is not giving me, okay, not question mark, here it is, equals to sign, from here I am getting. Right, I didn't get it like this. So the thing is, whenever I am going to pass some of the credentials within any of your accounts, say credentials. For the Facebook account, this is one of the examples. Say if you logged in into your bank account for SBI. You enter your, I think, MMI code, something is there, and the password which is assigned. They gave you this code and password when you get the app for that account, for your SBI account. Okay, so this is the credentials which they gave you, your code and your password. Or say if you are trying to log in into your Amazon.com, your account on Amazon, and you enter your username and password, and that, do you want that your username and password should come in the URL? Do we want? No, we don't want that our username and password should come in the URL. So the thing is, whenever I am going to pass my credentials including my username and password, I am not going to get that username and password within the URL. Okay? I'm not going to get that username and password within the URL. So that kind of request is more secure actually, right? This is more secure. I am not going to retrieve my username password and my MMR code and password. Let me check what we did get within the SBI account. It's okay. It's user ID and MPIN. Just a minute. When you get the app for SBI, they will give you user ID and it's MPIN password. It is a kind of password. Okay. So we don't want that the user ID and password should come within the URL from which it is going to retrieve the data. Okay, and one more thing. Say if you search for this thing which you did over here, SOAPUI training. Okay, so that thing is going to store within the history of your browser. Do we want that our username and password should be stored within the history within cookie? No. So that kind of request where we are going to fire some of the credentials, we are going to send some of the credentials, and we don't want it to come within the URL, or we don't want it to store within the history, we don't want it to store within the cookies session. So that kind of request is post request or method. Okay, so get is something which I'm going to get for the as a by default kind of request. Okay, and post is something which I'm going to fire, which I'm going to use if I am passing my username and password. Okay, so this is the second verb for the post, and the first purpose I didn't explain it. What do you think? What is the first thing which is related to the post? Over here. Post is actually related to create operation. Okay, so post is something which is related to create. And get was related to which one? Which kind of request? Get was related to retrieve operation. Get itself is a request and retrieve is the operation. So these two are very useful. You will see post is going to use when you are going to add the credentials mainly. Okay, for most of the time. And retrieve I'm going to use when you want to retrieve the data. It's very simple thing. Okay, so these two are covered. What about put? Delete is again, see, these two are again something which are interrelated. Put is directly related to create operation, which means post kind of operation. Okay, so these two are the main things which I just want to explain to. Rest you will understand when we will implement. I hope the concept of get and post is clear, how it is related to retrieve and create. Any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can message me. Okay. So these are three topics which are covered. Now let's come to the deciding service endpoints, sources and methods. These three are now linked. What is the meaning of service endpoint? See here. Okay. Deciding the service endpoint, if URL or any of the website name or the server name from where the response is coming is the endpoint. Okay, come back to the same Tomcat file. Here. Can you see this? This is the complete URL, right? This is the complete URL. And till facebook.com. It's www.facebook.com is the website name, and HTTPS is the protocol which we are using to exchange the message, which we are using to send our message. So this is my endpoint. Understand? So it is a part of URL. Endpoint is what? Here what I write. Endpoint is a part of URL. Server from the response coming. Okay, I think I didn't write. Endpoint is a part of URL. Okay. endpoint is a part of URL, and what is that endpoint? The website name, server, or the plus the messaging protocol which we are going to use. It's over here. Here. Okay. After that, what is this complete thing? This is again a part of URL, but not an endpoint. So we are firstly concentrate on the endpoint only. Okay. And many more things added right over here. We do have single endpoint under any web API. If I'm talking about any of the application, then only single endpoint is there. We can't have multiple endpoints for one of the web service or one of the web API, or it's also related to one of the website. Okay. So if I come back to the Facebook account and if I enter username and password, and it's going to, so this is the first page which I was getting, first link. If I enter the wrong username or password, after that, if I click on this and if I click on any of the link available, and I select this URL now, it's over here. So this was the first URL, and this was the first URL, and this is the second URL which I'm getting. And say if I now click on, hello, can you hear me?
Quickly, go. Come let's go. Come here. And quickly. Wait. Open under. Great job.
Okay, so the thing which I was explaining is about the URLs, the endpoint. If I select this URL, so this is one of the URL which I'm getting from our Facebook account. And if I click on to any other link available, now its control is passed to some other page. And now if I select this link, so I'm right now just making the copy of the links which are available under my Facebook account. And if I click onto this and just collecting the URL, so that here the thing which I'm explaining, it's about the endpoints about which we are discussing right now. It's service endpoints. Endpoints are something which are going to be common for all the web service. Okay, so this is one of the things which I'm explaining you. Here it is there. Okay. So out of these all three URLs, these all three are coming from your Facebook account. Okay, and till this, see, it is same. It is common in all the three URLs. And even if you open messages, even if you open the notifications, and if you click on any of the links, all the links which you will get, they will start from this part. Okay, and the rest part is going to change. Okay, so the thing which I want to explain you right now is till the part which is common in all the URLs, URL 1, 2, 3, and all others also. The part which is common is your endpoint. This is point, this is location from where you are actually getting this. Okay, and the rest part is we call it something else. It's resources. Okay, but for the endpoints, this is the only thing. So if you compare it with the thing which you are getting over here, deciding service endpoints, it's done. And now come to the next resources. Okay, see here, for a complete resource, if I say for a complete URL, if you compare this complete thing, for this complete URL, how many parts are there? Till this, it's endpoint. It's before /, not after or not including /. Okay, till facebook.com is your one endpoint for a web API, for a web application, or for a website, one website. And the part which is coming after that are the resources. Okay, and we can have multiple resources. See here, it's okay. It's I think in all of these three, only one of the resources there. So this is one resource. This is the second resource. Under same URL, only one resource is available. Okay, and if you see, say if it is like this. So can you please tell me for this single URL, how many endpoints are there and what is the endpoint for this URL? Ashan, Rahul, what is the endpoint for the URL which is highlighted? Endpoint is till facebook.com, and the resources are what? What will be the resources and how many resources? It's your endpoint, and resources are all the things which are coming as part of URL after endpoint. Okay, so this is resource 1, resource 2, resource 3, and resource 4. Understand? So
Yeah, got
okay, for a complete URL, if I say this is my URL, one endpoint will be there and multiple resources will be there, and this complete thing make one URL. Okay, so this will be the endpoint. It's resource 1, it's resource 2, resource 3. So multiple resources can be there. Okay, so this is the only thing which I want to explain you for the resources. See, each URL consists of one endpoint and many resources. And then what it is saying, we do have one parent resource and multiple child resource under one URL. What is the meaning of this line? It means that when you are trying to, when you will see that when we'll make a REST project, after selecting the endpoint, you do need to select the word which you will get is, for the first resources, new resource, and after that you will get the option to add child resource. Okay, so this is the reason to explain that one URL means one endpoint and multiple resources, and out of all the resources, first will be your parent resource and the rest will be your child resources. Understand? Is this clear? And see the last thing, okay, methods. See here the diagram, what it is saying, that for a complete URL, it consists of endpoint and resources. I explained you till this part. Now see methods and requests. So for one URL, one complete URL is related to one of the method or request. Can you please tell me which method or request I am talking about? Which method and request? I have explained. Get or post or put or delete. Okay, so these all are the methods or requests which are available. Many more, but these four are useful, and out of all four, three are useful: get, post, and delete. Put is also useful if you want to update something. Okay, so what do you understand from that? The things which I explained you. For one URL, one endpoint will be there, one single endpoint. Okay, and it's over here. Say if you are working in one of the complete web service, say if this is one of the web service, only one endpoint will be there and multiple resources will be there corresponding to each URL. What I said?
one endpoint and multiple resources for one URL, right?
Yes, for one URL, multiple resources and one single endpoint. And one more thing, say if this is the endpoint, resource 1, resource 2, resource 3. Okay, say if this is resource 1, resource 1 1, 2 1, 3 1. Say if this is resource 1 2, resource 2 2, and resource 2 3, and this is 3 1. These are just the names which I am sending. Okay, it's 1 3, 2 3, and 3 3. So the complete URL will come from where? The complete URL, one complete URL is this one. This endpoint plus these all resources. This will make one URL, and this will make second URL, third URL. Okay, so the things you will understand more when we'll implement it, and today we are also going to implement it. Okay, and the last which is left for the method. For the last one, for a complete URL, as I'm saying, this is one of the URL. Each and every URL is going to relate with one of the methods on request, and that method could be get, post, put, and delete. Understand? Okay. Under any WADL, many URLs are present. So this is the reason to explain you this thing. under a WADL, many URLs are present. So this is URL 1, this is URL 2, this is URL 3. Now can you please tell me what is the meaning of one URL? Arshad, Rahul, what is the meaning of one URL? This is for one WADL. I did second slide, I think. Read URL each.
One method, one endpoint, and multiple resources. That's what. Oh.
One URL is right. One URL is correct. That it means that one URL means many services. So this is the outlook of the URL, the thing which I explained you here. So this is how it looks. URL consists of endpoint, URL consists of resources, it consists of methods and requests. The thing is, what is the purpose of one URL? The purpose of one URL is, see here. So one, okay, let me change the color. I should see. So one URL. So one URL means one service provided under that web API.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is the thing to explain. As I said, the one WDL consists of many URLs. So this is the outlook, how it looks. This is how one URL looks. Okay? This is how one URL looks. It consists of endpoint, it consists of multiple resources, and one URL is related to one of the method. And what is the usefulness of a URL? URL means one service available under any of the web services. Understand? So this is the reason to explain you about the methods and requests. And the last thing is how to build a REST project. So now you need, firstly we do need to download and install SOAPUI, and we have already downloaded it. We do need to deploy the application. How we can deploy the application? If you remember, I did tell you yesterday, I did copy that retail folder in web apps folder, remember, of Tomcat Apache, right? You can watch the recorded video of yesterday's class, what we did. Okay, so this is the path where my retail application is deployed. Get the list of URLs. What is the meaning of this? URLs are this one. So where is the URL? Here it is. So these all are the URLs which are available for your web API as for retail application for REST. Okay. And one more thing, whenever you are going to test any of the web API, you are going to get the list of all these URLs. So there are many URLs, 3. This is 4th one. And see the list. A very huge list of URLs are available. Okay, so we'll start with the very first one, this one. So we do have the list of all the URLs we have deployed. Let's see if our application is there or not. It's under C, program files, Apache software, Tomcat, and Win folder. Okay, not Win. It's web apps folder. It is there. Okay. Then I do need to check if my Tomcat Apache is working or not. Apache Tom, it's localhost 8080. If I get the screen like this, it means my Apache Tomcat is working fine, right? Get the list of URLs ready. Launch SOAPUI. This is, here is my SOAPUI. Create the REST project. Now let's start with this. Create the REST project. Go to File and create new REST project. Go to File, new REST project. So what it is asking you? It is asking for the URI. You can also enter the complete URL, or the best way is to enter the endpoint over here. So you will start with the, okay,